Hello students, welcome to today's session. This is Sweta, your English Master Teacher at Vedantu, and today I have come up with another amazing lesson for all of you, which is from your Cbse class 10, Nelson Mandela, which is not just a lesson, but of course it is a chapter which is giving you some inspirational qualities that we can also inculcate when we look at the life story of this immensely powerful personality, and inspirational personality, and influential personality, right? So let us see what all we can learn from this chapter and what all we can inculcate in our lives as well, the value points which we all can inculcate in our lives as well. So guys, before beginning with this chapter, let me ask you some problems that you face. What we have analyzed, especially in the time of pandemic, is there are so many problems that students usually face in when it comes to education. So doubts, so many doubts you have, but you do not know where to go to, so that you could get your doubts solved. Am I right, guys? Tell me, right? So nowadays your school online classes are going on, which is not quite feasible for both the teacher as well as students, because it is completely new thing, right? So Zoom maybe, or any WebEx, or whatever application you're using, but still, since it is something new, the setup is not proper, and your concepts are not being clarified. You are not very much reachable to the teacher. Your doubts cannot go to the teacher, and somewhere it is lost in between, right? So these are, and even if we do not consider the pandemic times, even in normal times, you have so many doubts still left with you which cannot be solved, right? Next is notes. So especially if you talk about the pandemic times, notes you don't know where to get from, right? Tests and assignments you do have, but you cannot get good marks in the test because the concept clarity is not there. Assignments you do not know, even if you are getting, sometimes students are not even getting, so your revision part is somewhere lagging behind, right? So that is very important. Competitive exams, you do want to crack competitive exams, but you do not know where to get the guidance from. And choice of schedule, choice of language are other important problems that you face. You are unable, suppose you are taking extra tuition, extra classes for some subjects, so it's not possible for you to manage all your entire schedule, right? Choice of language, you want in Hindi or in English, right? So these are the problems that you usually face, and that I have analyzed, that we all have analyzed. And not only analyzed, guys, we have come up with the solution for all your existing problems, guys. Yes, so doubts no longer will be your doubts. They will no longer remain your doubts, because they are going to be absolutely solved if you subscribe to this Vedantu Pro subscription, guys. So in our platform, we have a special team which is only and only catering to your doubts. That means we have a team of class teachers who is going to solve each and every doubt that you face, guys. Not only that, master teachers are also involved in that process, right? So guys, doubts absolutely would no longer remain with you. Notes you are going to get after each and every session. Tests, we do conduct monthly tests, and not only if we conduct monthly tests, we also give you the performance report, right? So on the basis of the performance report, you can analyze which is the subject or which is the area you are lagging behind, and plan your education methodically with the help of our platform, right? So that methodology is very, very important if you want to score high marks in the board exam. The structure is very important, which is presently lacking in your system of education. Do you agree with me or not, guys, on this? And assignments, you have each and every, you have assignment after each and every session, guys. So solving those assignments would make your revision absolutely complete. And talking about the revision part, we have 200 plus mock test papers, guys. So which, if you solve, you are absolutely exam ready, you are absolutely confident, and you are confident enough to face your exam and score highest marks. Not only that, we also provide guidance for various competitive exams, and the choice of schedule is completely according to your convenience. So no longer you have to sacrifice anything, right? So we will provide you time slots according to which you are going to choose whatever is convenient for you all. Choice of language, we have Hindi as well as English, so whatever you want, you can go for that, guys. Plus, we have bonus features. That means unlimited live classes you are going to have, in which you have the long-term batches, which is going to give you complete your syllabus systematically in sync with your school curriculum. And suppose the performance report which we give you, you see that okay, this is a chapter which I am having problem, in which I am having problem. So that chapter you can focus on individually. How? With the help of our micro course, right? Because our micro course is mainly aimed for that. Crash course enables you to have a complete revision. Performance reports, as I already told you, personalized attention, the best, the most important part, which is for timing, not only in the recent pandemic times, but also in the normal scenario. Also, you lack this personalized attention, especially in the maybe coaching centers or anything else, right? And the best and the most important part which hinders you from scoring top marks is lack of equal importance to each and every subject. So that is what pulls you down, because if you take extra classes for two subjects or three subjects which you think you need, and you kind of neglect the other subject, thinking that okay, I can do that, these subjects are easy, so let's take it lightly for now, we will do it at the end, right? But that, guys, makes your scoreboard down. Why? Because these are the subjects, ultimately you end up scoring less in these subjects which you have taken lightly, right? So if you score 70, 75 in some subjects and 90, 95 and 100, even if in those subjects which you want to, which you think you have taken classes for, that lowers your percentage overall, right? So in Vedantu, we believe not only in hard work but also in smart work, and that is exactly the reason why we stress so much on all your subjects, individual attention, individual importance to all your subjects, right? So we provide you with all the 6 subjects, that is English, social science, maths, physics, chemistry, biology, right? And with so many other features like micro course, crash course, and complete revision with the help of 200 plus mock test papers, 50 plus other courses, right? So only all of these are available only with one subscription, guys. So what you need to do is just visit vdnt.in/ytpro. There are the options like choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details, click on get subscription. So after you see all the details, whatever I have explained right now is there. So you are completely satisfied. So you have to click on get subscription. Again, when it comes to pricing, guys, so I have talked about so many things, right? So many features. What are the features that I have talked about? Long-term batch, micro course, crash course, only with one subscription, 200 plus mock test papers and 50 plus courses, right? So only with one subscription. So you think that, oh my god, so many things, that means it is going to cost a lot? No, absolutely no. So when you actually go for extra tuition, maybe for 2 subjects, maybe you end up paying 2,000, 3,000 more than that, right? Only for 2 to 3 subjects. But guys, for all these 6 subjects and all these extra, all these bonus features and all these amazing features that we have, what you need to pay is only 2294 for 1 month. For 3 months, it is 5949, and for 6 months, it is 9774. So cost wise, I would suggest 6 months would be more cost effective. If you take 1 month every day, you end up paying more. And if you take 6 months at once, then that is more cost effective, guys, because that period of that duration is essential, right? So this is something which is very important. So if you calculate, you will see that you are just paying not more than 10 rupee per class, not even 10 rupee, 8 to 9 rupee per class, guys, right? And as I told you, we have so many teams involved, so many specialized teams for catering to your special needs. Like for doubts, we have class teachers, master teachers, lectures, we have master teachers, definitely. Then we have for assignments and for your papers, test papers, we have the content team involved. So special team, the product that you are using, we have the product team involved, right? So at the end, what you see is you end up paying only a rupee, not more than that, for each of the team. And plus, you will never get anything, which you will never miss anything, right? Because we have special team catering to your special needs. So this is something which is quite in an organized way, guys. So guys, what you need to do is just visit bdnt.in/ytpro. Use the coupon code SWREPRO. Nothing more than that, guys, right? So just one subscription and all your needs are fulfilled, and with quality content, with quality teachers, and definitely we are going to hold your hand and take you to the top level. That is an assurance, guys. So do subscribe to this, guys, and I'm looking forward to see you all subscribing to the Vedantu Pro subscription very soon and being a part of our family member and allowing us and giving us the opportunity to provide you with the best, guys. So this is designed only and only for you guys. So avail the opportunity to not miss it. And now we will begin with our chapter, Long Walk to Freedom. So when we say long walk to freedom, what immediately comes in your mind, guys? Long walk to freedom. That means freedom is, you know what is freedom, right? So yes, freedom is an important concept in this chapter, and all that we will see over here is centering around what exactly freedom is. What according to you is true freedom? So first of all, guys, before starting with the chapter, do comment in the chat box right now. What do you think? What could be freedom? What is freedom according to you, guys? So don't forget to comment in the chat box right now, right? So now, when we are talking about a long walk to that freedom, that means it's not an easy task, right? It is a long way to go. That means it is full of struggles, right? So that is what Nelson Mandela is talking about. So now let us move ahead with the chapter. Today we are going to analyze the entire chapter, and next we will talk about the theme and important questions, after which we are going to have the doubt and the Menti session. So Nelson Mandela, you all know that he was a South African revolutionary political leader and philanthropist, right? Who served as the president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. And he was, most importantly, he was the country's first black head of state. That means the first black president and the first elected in a fully representative democratic election. So before Nelson Mandela, gained power and gained his position as the president of South Africa, it was not a democratic nation. South Africa was not a democratic nation, right? So he was the first black president in the first democratic nation. Okay, I mean not in the first democratic nation, that is wrong. But when he became the first black president, only then Africa became a democratic nation, right? So in 1993, Nelson Mandela won the Nobel Prize for Peace. So he was also a philanthropist, as I told you. So he also won the Nobel Prize for Peace. And important point to be noted, guys, he served 27 years in prison for fighting against apartheid. Now, this apartheid is an important concept which is running throughout the chapter which we are now going to study. So let me tell you about apartheid a little bit. But before that, let me share with you a wonderful quote, a very inspirational quote by the immensely powerful personality about whom we are going to study right now. That is by Nelson Mandela. And he says, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Right? So who's a winner? Who's a dreamer, who dreams and who never gives up. So what did Nelson Mandela dream of, and how did he achieve that? How did he win in his long walk to freedom, and ultimately he got that freedom? That is exactly what we are going to study in this chapter. So before that, let me talk a little bit about apartheid, because you need to know the concept of apartheid before beginning with the chapter. So apartheid, it's known as apartness in the language of Afrikaans. Okay, and it was a system of legislation that upheld segregationist policy against non-white citizens of South Africa. So it was a segregationist policy. Now, what is this segregationist? Separatist policy. That means it separated between the blacks and the whites in South Africa. So this separation is only based on skin color, right? So the black skins were considered as somebody as inferior, and the white skinned people dominated them. Not only they dominated them, but also the South Africans under this policy of apartheid. And if you see over here that after the National Party gained power in South Africa in 1948, it's all white government. It was an all white government. Remember, there was no black person who was in position at that point of time, right? And they began enforcing the existing policies of racial segregation. Okay, so now what is this policy of racial segregation? It was that South Africans would be forced to live in separate areas from whites and use separate public facilities. So that means there was a complete separatist policy, a policy of segregation, a policy of separation. It is not much different from untouchability, right? So the blacks were bullied, they were tortured, they were deprived of even having the basic rights of living, right? So that is exactly what is apartheid, and Nelson Mandela fought for this policy, fought against this policy of apartheid for 27 long years. He was in prison. Okay, so that also reminds us of our own nation, India, who also fought for its own freedom, and there are so many freedom fighters. So if you could name some of the freedom fighters which you right now remember who fought for the liberation of our country, because this, when we study about South Africa and how it got its freedom, we also simultaneously tend to remember our own struggle for freedom, right? So kindly put down your thoughts on our struggle for freedom, and if you remember some of the important freedom fighters, then don't forget to put down their names right now in the chat box as you are listening to this lecture. Okay guys, so now we'll begin with this chapter, in which Nelson Mandela says that every man has twin obligations. Now this twin obligation is very important. First, what are the twin obligation? Twin means two obligation. Two obligation means two duties. One is duty to the family. Second is the duty towards community and his country. So, question for you guys. So please put down your answer in the chat box as you are listening to the lecture. What are the two obligations of every man? This question is important, guys, for your exams as well. So this is a kind of, your revision is also going on when you are seeing this lecture. So kindly take part in the question answer that follows. Okay, and that is, asked simultaneously. Okay, so then he says that when you are living in a normal society, you can fulfill both the obligations according to your abilities. So yes, as we are considering, if we consider our own times, then we as human beings, we are living in a normal situation, right? Of course, let alone, exclude the pandemic situation. So we are living in a normal situation and a civil and human society. We do not have this apartheid and all, right? So at present, we can very well fulfill both the obligation, that is obligation to our society and obligation to our family, right? But in a country like South Africa, it was not possible. Why was it not possible? Okay. So, first let me explain why was it not possible for in a country like South Africa. Why? Because first of all, they were deprived of all their rights. They were not even having the basic human rights, right? So they could not fulfill their own familial obligations. First of all, they could not fulfill their obligation to the society as well. Because if they spoke against this racial discrimination, they would be jailed, just as Nelson Mandela was. And they would be taken away from their family, right? So as a result, it was impossible to fulfill both the obligations, right? In a country like South Africa, which was, which was following this policy of apartheid. So question, guys, why was it difficult for a black South African man to fulfill his obligations? Right? So please put down your answer in the chat box, as I told you, as you are listening to the lecture. Now, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated, as I told you, right? And then a man who tried to fulfill his duty, as I told you right now, as when he tried to fulfill his duty to his people, he was taken away from his family and he was forced to live apart as he was, okay? And forced to live life apart, a twilight existence of secrecy and rebellion. Okay, so that means he was taken apart, he was ripped apart from his family, and he was he was forced to live in an existence of secrecy and rebellion. Twilight existence. Twilight is what? The time when neither you have the full sun nor you have the full setting of the sun. That is twilight, right? So that is twilight, and he is forced to move apart and live in secret. Okay, and also because he is treated as a rebel. Okay, so that is very, very important over here, and therefore he is not able to fulfill both his obligations. This point is very important. So how was a black man in South Africa treated? Okay, so please put down your answer as you are listening, guys. This is again and again, because this is an important chapter and a little difficult for the students also to understand. So the more you listen to it, the more it will be easier, and the more you're practicing as well. Okay, now he said, I did not in the beginning choose to place my people. Very, very, very important line. So, as a normal human being, when we are talking about family and society, of course, we as normal human being, we are inclined towards our family more. We are selfish by nature, nothing to do about that, right? Which is very normal. Unless and until we are, somebody very famous. Like the army men who are sacrificing their own family. I mean, they are leaving their own family and going and fighting in the borders, or freedom fighters who did not care, who cared more about the country. But we normal human beings who are residing with our families, of course, we are caring. First, we are placing our family, and then we are placing our society, right? So Nelson Mandela says that he was also inclined more towards his family like a normal human being at the very beginning, right? However, in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligation as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So first he is saying that I did not in the beginning choose to place my people as we do, okay? But when he started to choose, I mean, when he saw his people, when he tried and served his people, he found that he was not able to fulfill his duty towards his family, right? Then he started, and he is saying over here about freedom. From here again, it is very, very, very important. Each and every line of this chapter is very important. His concept of freedom starts from here, and he says that I was born with a hunger to be free. Okay, I was born free, free in every way that I could go, free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast meals under the stars and ride the boat backs of snow moving goods. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by my custom of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. So, as a human being is born, when he's born, he's free to roam about. So, at when he was a normal human being, I mean, he was when uh, he did not understand what real freedom was. So, he says that boyhood freedom was an illusion. Just as I told you when you began the chapter, I told you what according to you is freedom. So according to us, freedom is when we are free to run about wherever we want to go, wherever we want to, and nobody is there to stop us, right? Exactly, that was freedom initially about for Nelson Mandela when he was a boy or an adolescent, okay, and he was a student. That is freedom. What freedom meant was freedom for himself, his personal freedom, right? But gradually, so what was that? The transitory freedom. He called these freedoms as transitory freedom. What is transitory? Which is not permanent, temporary, which is going to be, which is going to fade away very soon, right? That is staying out at night, reading what I pleased, and going where I chose. That, according to him, was freedom, and that he calls that freedom as transitory because he was just an adolescent boy at that point of time. He was not having that maturity to understand. But that later he realized what true freedom is. Okay, when he saw that all the people who looked alike, who looked like what? Who looked like him. That means who had the same skin color as he was having. That means, in short, who were the blacks. They were, prevented from even living a normal life. At that point of time, he understood what true freedom is, right? That he is not free. Okay, not only he, but nobody who is like him is not free in their country, right? So he says that not only I was not free, but my brothers and sisters, no one was free. I saw that it was not my freedom that was curtailed, but freedom of everyone who looked like I did. And it was at that point of time when he joined African National Congress, and that is when his hunger for own freedom became the greater hunger for freedom of my people. So from the very start, he says that I was, freed. I was very hungry for freedom. I was a freedom lover, right? From the very start, he had this affinity towards freedom. But when he was a boy, freedom only meant personal freedom. But when he grew up, he became mature. He realized that that was something which was transitory, and real freedom is not what he's deprived of. Okay, not only he, but all those who looked like him were deprived of the real country and real freedom. And at that point of time, he understood that freedom, and he at that point of time, freedom not only became his freedom, but freedom for the people. Okay, and then finally, it was this desire for the freedom of my people to live with the lives of dignity and self-respect that animated my life. And from the point he realized that he needs to join this rebellious party, African National Congress, because at that point it was rebellious because it spoke against the existing law. What was the existing law? White dominating the blacks, and the blacks being deprived of all freedom. Okay, so the African National Party, the African National Congress rebelled against this, so that they were rebellions at that point of time, and this animated his life. This brought adventures in his life, and he was transformed to a bold one, from a frightened young man, and from a law-abiding man, he became a criminal. So many of our freedom fighters also were termed as criminals by the British, if you remember. Same for him as well. And he also was forced to live like a monk, right? Because he was spending, of course, his time in jail, and he was also taken away from his family, right? And he also had to work for his people. So therefore, you cannot be so much associated and attached with your family if you are there for the greater purpose, right? So that is what made him a monk. And then he said that freedom is indivisible. The chains on any one of my people were the chains of all of them. And I knew that this is very, very, very important. The oppressor must be liberated just surely as the oppressed. That means he understood that it is not the oppressor who is only enchained. Sorry, it is not the oppressed who is enchained by the oppressor, who is bullied by the oppressor. Therefore, he is in a prison. But it is also the oppressor who is oppressing. He is also in prison. In the prison of what? In the prison of his prejudice. In the prison of his, mindset. Right? So he is constantly trying and taking out some or the other policy in order to, enchain the oppressed. So therefore, he is also constantly disturbed. Right? So therefore, it is not only the oppressor who is not free, but also, sorry, it is not only the oppressed who is not free, but also equally the oppressor is not free. Why? Because he is imprisoned by his own prejudices, right? So this point is very important again. So the explanation is here. He is barred, he is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow-mindedness. Who? The oppressor. And therefore, he is not free. So, if you take away somebody's own freedom, then you are also robbed of your humanity. right? When you take away somebody's freedom, you are also taking away your humanity at the same time. So therefore, even you are not free if you are, if you are oppressing the other. So this question is very, very important. Why does he think that the oppressor is not free? Very, very, very important. So these are the important points from whatever I have explained so far, right? That 10th of May was a day of freedom for South Africa. There was a huge gathering of the international leaders, and there was the inauguration ceremony. That was the inauguration ceremony. And where was it held? Union Building in Pretoria. Okay. Nelson Mandela was giving a speech on the victory of justice, justice, peace, and human dignity. And Nelson Mandela also pledged to liberate people from his poverty, suffering, and discrimination. And there was also colorful show of jets and helicopters to show the military's loyalty. So this is also very important. That military, those police officers, those officers who had initially imprisoned a man who was rebelling against this policy, he is now, showing respect to such a man. And two national anthems were sung. Okay, two national anthems were sung. Please note the national anthems for white as well as the blacks. Why? In order to show that we do not believe in inequality or domination of domination by any race, not the blacks, not the whites. So that is showing that is a symbol of equality, right? And then Nelson Mandela also remembers the people and he also wants to thank them who sacrificed their lives for freedom, right? So he salutes these freedom fighters. So please note the name of the freedom fighters whom Nelson Mandela thanks and who thinks that these freedom fighters who are not here, right? He actually wanted to thank them personally, but unfortunately they are not here, and that is why he is regretting the fact that he could not thank them personally. And Nelson Mandela said that a country is rich not because of its people, not because of its minerals, but because of its people. And another important thing is that courage is not the absence of fear, but the victory over it, right? So what is actually courage? It is not the absence of fear, because everybody has fear. But the moment you overcome the fear, you become victorious, right? So people, and another point that is important over here is that love comes naturally, not by force. So when it is hate is actually sometimes, inculcated in our mind. When somebody constantly tells you against somebody, then you automatically, have this feeling of hate. You automatically inculcate that feeling, but that is ingrained within you from outside. But love is a natural feeling, right? So love is more easy. If hate can be taught so easily, which is not natural, then love, which is a natural phenomena, could be taught even more easily. That is what Nelson Mandela says. And right. So according to Mandela, freedom has many aspects. So this concept of freedom, as I already explained you, what is real freedom and what was freedom which was transitory. According to, for a kid, as I told you, what according to you is freedom. For a kid, it is to run and play freely. For an adult, it is to fulfill his needs, right? But real freedom means equal rights for everyone, right? And then patience and perseverance guided by discipline and system yield the desired result. So that was in gist your this chapter, Nelson Mandela. I hope you have understood the main important points, and with that, I hope you will read read the text thoroughly. Basically, I have highlighted all the important points, so please mark those important points which I have already told you. You can expect questions from there. In the next session, I would definitely come up with the question answers from this chapter. So please do put down your comments in the comment section on this homework answer. What were the difficulties faced by Nelson Mandela in achieving freedom for his people? Please do post your comments in the comment section. And yes, before you go, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to comment the homework answer. And guys, don't forget to take the subscription as well. So what you need to do is choose your grade, choose your board, check out the details. I have mentioned all the details very clearly. So check them out and tally with whatever I have said. Okay. And click on get subscription. You have three types of subscription. If you ask me, I have recommended the 6 months, but you can also take a shot for 1 or 3 months. That is completely according to you. Right, so you need to visit ytpro, vdnt.in/ytpro and use the coupon code SWREPRO. Don't forget the coupon code. You are eligible for availing the 15% discount by using the coupon code, guys. So thank you so much for watching, and hope you have liked and enjoyed the video. So please hit the like button and please do subscribe to the new channel. This is a new channel, so we need your love. We need your motivation to come up with more and more videos only and only for you guys. So yes, you can reach me out at any time. You know that already. So thank you so much. See you in the next class. Bye bye.